That's exactly what we're doing. It's just after 10:30, and as I promised, we have, I think, a local innovation. You know, our mandate on the show is very simple. We are all about building and talking about proudly South African products, people that are doing amazing stuff. Now, Loop, if you haven't heard this name, you will. It's a Cape Flats-based e-hailing service and is revolutionizing transportation by making traveling safer, more convenient, and more accessible via WhatsApp. Now, a friend, we've got Hilton Tennyson who does our inserts every Friday. Last night, I think at about 11:30 or so, I don't know what time he spoke to you. I think it was quite late-ish. And he made me join the Loop group, right? So I'm on this on your WhatsApp group. And already I started talking to whoever's on the other side, probably a bot. It was founded in 2022 by Imtiaz Kili from Cape Town and Jamie Weingart from Montana. Now, Loop has quickly gained recognition for its innovative approach, winning multiple awards, including, get the awards it's won. It's won Social Enterprise of the Year at the National Presidential MSME and Cooperatives Awards. Okay, Imtiaz joins me now in studio. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Sam. Thank you for having me.
I always love talking to people that think of solutions, right? Because not all of us do. I mean, let's be honest. We are faced with challenges every day. But what was happening in your space when you thought, I think we could build something better or smarter than, we won't mention the other guys that's in the space at the moment. But what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, so my grandfather and father has been in the taxi industry for generations, and I'm basically a third generation minibus taxi entrepreneur. And what happened is I took minibus taxis for 21 years of my life. So did I
in my early days.
Yeah, and I got involved. I was always entrepreneurial and got involved in tech around 2019 and 2020. And what was fascinating to me is that the minibus taxi industry and public transport in South Africa hasn't been penetrated by tech. And public transport, and especially the minibus taxi industry, is the backbone of public transport in South Africa. Yet it is informal, archaic, and not in line with the digital era. I then went to my co-founder, Jamie Thurston Weingart, and I told him, Jamie, let's build something.
Not Weingart.
Weingart, okay, yeah. Weingart. Now Imtiaz Riley.
Riley. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I said, Jamie, let's build something awesome here. We can innovate in this space, but most importantly, we can solve real-life problems in Africa by building solutions for this industry.
Yeah, but you're right. The industry for the longest time has been chaotic, right? And I remember, and I'm sure you do because you would know this better than I do because you're in the transportation space. When the Ubers and the Bolts and all those came in, there seemed to be this resistance to kind of tech coming into this space and innovating. And then for the longest time, there was conflict between the various parties. Then government kind of had to step in. I think it's much better now because we know tech is not going anywhere. Once it's in, it's very difficult to get it out. What has been the journey like to kind of transform an industry that for the longest time it's been running differently? And I mean, you come out of a family that's been in the industry for so long. So what has that been like to try and change the industry, have the conversation?
Yeah, I think it's all about the narrative. And what's been happening is that I don't think the industry has a problem with technology because they've been wanting to build...
That's quite interesting. We haven't said that before, actually.
Yeah, so they've been wanting to build solutions for the longest of times. But I think where the issue comes in with Uber and Bolt and InDrive and all of these companies is about market share, because now they're going to... These guys have been struggling and fighting for routes and permits for the longest of times, but now you get Uber, an international company, not a homegrown solution, coming into the fold and taking market share. And these are market share that the taxi industry, I mean, Ubers are picking up kids and teenagers and, young working adults, where the minibus taxi industry has been transporting their fathers, their grandfathers, their entire bloodline for the longest of years. And here they come in with tech and, they basically disrupt. So I think what we've done quite well is we've been very customer centric besides being and having industry knowledge. So we do a lot of design thinking. We did design thinking down here in Gauteng. We did in Impingweni, in KwaZulu-Natal, and in Cape Town. And when we unpack the pains and gains, there's a lot of similarities between, the provinces. Geolocation technology, it's something that the taxi industry doesn't have. Knowing where to find your passengers if you're not on a taxi rank. Cash is king within the industry. If you go to CBDs, right around South Africa, you get a long line at ATMs. People are taking money out of their digital bank accounts to go and pay cash in public transport. And then there's the accountability factor. How do you hold the taxi drivers accountable? Because, I was in a taxi once. Like I told you, for 21 years I traveled with a taxi. I was in a taxi on my way to work. The driver was driving around the area 5 times looking for passengers. I was the only one in the taxi. And I said, hey, driver, I've got to work at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be late because you're driving around and looking for passengers. When are we going to leave? And he told me, if you don't like it, tell your dad to buy you a car and you don't have to take a taxi. So
that sounds about right.
What we see is, how technology could solve problems is not only with geolocation, not only with digital payments, but also from an accountability perspective.
Yeah. I love what you're saying, because this is currently actually the issues that government is facing. These are the issues that the industry is facing, because I would almost be bold enough to say that because, and you said something quite interesting, you used to transport our grandfathers and our fathers, but this new era thinks very, very differently. And I'm not saying there's an imminent implosion, but I'm saying consumers are getting smarter. And if eventually technology is going to make transportation cheaper, this industry is eventually going to battle if they don't reform and they don't start becoming, to your words, customer-centric.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think what we've seen is instead of having resistance, there's a more open, clear-minded and visionaries within the space, that are actually saying Loop, we want to work with you. We want your technologies, bring it into the fold, and what we've been doing is not working against, these operators, but working alongside them, unpacking what their pains and gains are.
There's dialogue, there's conversations.
Open dialogue all the time.
What is your challenges? How is Loop going to fix it? It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I love it. So often ideation is a great thing. Then you build this thing, and then all entrepreneurs need validation. I'm sure winning an award that recognizes the invention, the innovation, validates you and your partners to say, I think we're on the right track here.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of support, from Visa and the SAB Foundation throughout our journey.
Guys, yeah.
And also our labs down in Cape Town that's doing amazing work.
Amazing work.
So they've been the guys backing us. But these awards and accolades, also kind of puts... how can I say, it kind of validates what we are trying to do and the solutions we are trying to build.
Yeah. I think the other thing that also makes it, from my experience yesterday, the fact that it's WhatsApp based. We all have WhatsApp. Well, most of us have WhatsApp. The fact that you've used an existing technology in this way. Well, you talked about design thinking. When you're dealing with it, was it very difficult to customize? Because WhatsApp does do business, does all of that kind of stuff. Was it that difficult?
The technology is ours. WhatsApp is simply an interface for us. So we can use Instagram, we can use any chat interface to kind of, process Loop payments. But what it was for us and what we took a lot of note of is when we did our research and we did our design thinking, people actually deleted their banking apps to have WhatsApp on their phones because their phone doesn't have the processing capabilities to handle both. So they'll actually choose, I don't want a banking app, I'll just go to the ATM to do my transactions at the ATM, but I'm going to keep WhatsApp. So people don't want to download more apps. There's so many apps around. We've got Play stores, Apple stores with so many apps that we have, and people are just tired of apps. So that was the reason behind our WhatsApp innovation.
A couple of years ago, actually, I talked about this idea that people would eventually app out, that there was just too many. And there's an app for even going to the bathroom now, to keep you regular. So, that's how ridiculous we are at the moment. Talk to me about the impact of Loop that you guys have experienced. I'm sure now, as you are, I know you're in Johannesburg for business, and I'm so grateful that you guys were able to come into studio, because I know you're busy while you're here. But the impact of Loop in communities, what has that direct interaction been from people that have engaging with it? How have you seen that change their lives?
Yeah, so what started out as solving just for the taxis and the impact that it has driven, we kind of focusing on not only the taxi industry, but emerging markets and informal economies. So what was happening is while people were transacting to pay their taxi rides within the minibus taxi, we had entrepreneurs sitting in the taxi saying, I do nails, I do hair, I sell skin products. I sell consisters. I sell samosas. Even the street vendor alongside the road said, wow, this is cool. I want to pay on WhatsApp. Can I use it? And what Loop has kind of changed and evolved in over the past couple of months is we're digitizing mobility and payments for informal economies. But even though we're digitizing and we're solving mobility and payments for informal economies, we do understand the work that has to go in from a financial education perspective. And we've been working with Visa and the SAB Foundation to do financial education on a platform of one of our partners called Zlato, where people can go on there, do budgeting for the purpose cause, especially our users, our WhatsApp users, go onto the platform, and you can even earn Zlato. You can even earn, money and funds to go and buy. You get vouchers, so you can go to ShopRite and Pick n Pay and buy food. So we do understand the financial education part, because what happens in the informal economy is, people don't have access to credit. People don't have access to loans, but the money's in there. But because the credit system hasn't been built for them, they can't get the credit. They go to a loan shark. They have to borrow 100 Rand and they have to pay 200 Rand back.
Yeah. So there's a lot of the kind of ideas around of what M-Pesa eventually has become that you can now build into the system. So it almost becomes this holistic mobile money that really is a game changer, right?
Yeah, so the idea is...
by the way, I wanted to say my producer Mpilo doesn't know what a kusista is.
Now you should come to Cape Town. You should bring him to Cape Town.
He doesn't know what it is. It's like a cook sister, but it's the cousin.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm just looking at him as he's saying sister. Yeah, he's saying,
The donut's cousin.
Yeah,
with
the donut's cousin, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so you were saying it's become this mobile money.
Yeah. So mobile money, pay anyone instantly, no bank charges, only bank charges when you want to cash out. It doesn't take as long as a bank with 5 seconds. And basically, you just top up your wallet. You get 10 Rand when you sign up, but you top up your wallet. And once you do the payment, it's instant. Your wallet gets debited. The next person's wallet gets credited.
There's something, Imtiaz, that I think about when I hear that this is an invention from Cape Town. Have you guys thought of the impact you have on maybe young people to say that we can actually build solutions for ourselves, that we can actually localize solutions, and that our solutions don't have to come from Europe and America? But I can only imagine that in a current climate, you talked about your partners like R Labs, you talked about Visa coming on board and SAB Foundation. But I think your story is also a story of resilience that tells young people, if you can dream it, you can build it.
Yeah. And I always have this saying, business is the toughest sport, but never stop dreaming. You got to be resilient. You got to have grit and believe, and follow your dreams, follow what you believe in. And a lot of entrepreneurs, especially where we come from, they don't have this confidence. But if you believe in something, build it. Nobody else is going to build it for you. Have resilience and things will work out.
Yeah, and be prepared to walk the journey.
100%. And it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah. So Loop is now in the market. You're able to where is it at the moment? You're able to find it on the Play Stores, or how does it work at the moment?
Yeah, you simply sign up on WhatsApp. That's step number one. If you want the mobile app, you can download it from the Play Store, providing that your phone have NFC capabilities. After successful pilots in Cape Town, we are now expanding to Johannesburg in 2025. So the call is for guys in Johannesburg that needs payment solutions, that needs mobility solutions. Hit us up. We're keen to work with you, and call for collaboration.
Yeah. So Loop is coming here now. What has the adoption been like? What's the numbers like in Cape Town? Is it still growing? Is it still doing a lot of education?
Yeah. So at the moment, we're doing about 15,000 rides monthly.
Wow.
In terms of trips, we've got over 30,000 users on the platform, and we processed more than 30 million in transactions.
Wow. Is there a moment where you sit alone by yourself, or you and the partner, and you go like, I think we're into something here?
Yeah, but we're also
realistic,
realistic,
right?
and we know that, This is something that's not going to be done overnight. There's still a lot of hard work that we're going to have to put in, and a lot of hours, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, and a lot of tears.
No, man, congratulations. That's absolutely amazing. That is just amazing. And our audiences know from Mondays to Fridays, what we do on the show is we spotlight amazing South African stories. We interview South Africans who are trying to change not only their communities, we're actually currently running a competition on air, encouraging people to come up with solutions for South Africa. And I think what you guys are doing is absolutely amazing. Kudos to you and congratulations. And I hope you go from strength to strength. As a final question, what's the big picture here? What are you guys cooking? What ultimately will Loop be?
2040, imagine yourself getting onto public transport or a minibus taxi with that old tin and sticky note. That's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to transact digitally, get onto that taxi, pay for your ride, hop off that taxi, pay for your loaf of bread at the street vendor, take it home for your kids. That's what we envision, a cashless future.
It's that complete loop.
Yeah.
Imtiaz Riley, thank you very much for joining me. He's one of the co-founders of a brand new... I almost feel terrible for calling it an e-hailing service because I think it's so much more than that now.
Yeah.
So co-founder of Loop along with Jamie Weingart, and they've proudly built in South Africa, proudly developed in Cape Town. Go and Google, find out more. It's Loop. They've won awards already, and you've heard that they've done more than 30 million worth of transactions. I think that's something to celebrate. They won Social Enterprise of the Year at the National Presidential MSME and Cooperatives Award. And that was last year. So it's all new. It's tech built locally. Let's go and support this business.